Hey, it's your old pal Avian and Loaded with a look at one of my favorite and yet problematic Marvel Legends action figures. And what we have here is the Commander Steve Rogers action figure from way back in the year 2012. In 2012, Hasbro was just getting back into the 6-inch Marvel Legends game. I think it was the Return of Marvel Legends wave that this first appeared in. It might have been called Heroes Return or something like that. Very colorful packaging, very disappointing. Build-A-Figure, I think it was Hitmonkey, who was about as tall as one of those barrels you see by Steve's feet. But I've been lucky enough over the years. I always wanted one of these when I got back into Marvel Legends just a couple of years later, 2014, 2015. And when I found out about this figure, I wanted one, but never really came across one in the wild. And then within the space of a few months, I found not one, but two of them, and they were dirt cheap because, of course, the figure has since been updated by Hasbro, but also it's not that great. It's basically, which body did I hear somebody say it was built on? Maybe the Punisher body, which I think might have been left over from Toy Biz when they had Marvel Legends, and they stopped making Marvel Legends, I think, in 2008. So the body, even if this body was new in 2012, which I don't think it was, this body has definitely seen better days. So here's my Kit Bash version here first. We'll kind of shine the spotlight literally on him. For some reason, sorry, I will never be professional at this. I think we both know that. First of all, of the two figures, this one has a glossy head sculpt. I don't know if the camera is picking that up or not. Very shiny. Looks like he's sweaty or just got out of the shower. And then the other one has a much more appealing matte finish. The paint looks better on it. Same exact head sculpt. I believe the same exact figure. There was a variant of this that came in black. And you might think this is black, but it's actually a very deep, rich midnight blue with some black shading on it. So it gives you the look that it's black. But the variant version of this figure actually was just a flat black bodysuit. Other than that, I believe they were identical other than that. Now, it could be that one of these heads came from the other figure. Maybe there was a difference in the paint finish between the two, and that's why one is matte and one is glossy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just want to give you a little look at these guys because they really... I'm glad that I have them. I enjoy having them in my collection, but they are problematic. And it's mainly the hips. Let's see if I can shine some light on the hips here. They have very old-fashioned, what used to be called Y-joint hips. I mean, maybe they're still Y-joint hips, but if you can see right in the center of the screen there, that is a ball. That it very clearly is a ball. And that, they still refer to a lot of times what Marvel Legends does now as ball-jointed hips, but they're not actually literally balls that you could, take the figure apart and play marbles with. But that's pretty much what the hips on this era of Marvel Legends, or at least a lot of them, were like. They were right on the verge of the Bucky Cap body that changed everything with improved hips. I think that might have even been in the same wave or the one immediately after it. But they didn't use that body for this Commander Rogers figure. Now, my little Kit Bash here, he has a custom shield that I made out of that ridiculous shield that came with the Marvel Legends Stan Lee figure that has Stan Lee's autograph on it, which is ridiculous because Stan Lee had nothing to do with the creation of Captain America. He was created by Jack Kirby and Joe Simon. But more to the point, that Stan Lee figure would have been so much cooler if it just came with a good Captain America shield instead of one with Stan Lee's autograph on it. And I wanted to make like a prototype shield, like a World War II era prototype Captain America shield. So I actually spent a couple of days working on this, and it's deceptively complex. It's not just a flat silver. There's a couple of different silvers on there, and then a little bit of rust color to give you that sense that it is a prototype, and maybe it's not quite finished, even though, of course, you know, in the mythology of Marvel Comics, you know, the original Shield in the comics, or his modern Shield, I should say, is a mix of adamantium and vibranium from Wakanda. In the movies, I think it's just made from vibranium, if I recall correctly. I'm not sure. Maybe because they didn't have the X-Men license yet when the first Captain America movie came out, so they just made it all vibranium. Because Fox probably still had the license to even say adamantium. But anyway, so that's the deal with the shield there. And his little pew-pew there is from, I think, the first, or at least a very early Valorverse Action Force pistol. Very nice one. It's kind of a Dirty Harry kind of a showstopper. And it fits really well in these hands, which are weird. The articulation is weird because the wrist articulation, you see that line right there in the center of the screen, that line halfway up his forearm, that's actually where you rotate the wrist. And it's not ideal, and I actually watched a review earlier today of this figure, and it was from 2012. The reviewer, Anthony's Customs, was talking about how you could actually see some flesh tone inside that strange mid-forearm joint. Mine are both pretty tight. I don't know if I just got a better painted one or these were less played with than the one Anthony was reviewing back in 2012 when it was brand new. I'm a little mystified by it. Oh, you can see here how it's blue, right? In midnight blue and not actually black like it looks from a distance. So anyway, these are just kit-bashed items that I gave him to kind of zhuzh him up a little. So the pistol from Action Force and the custom shield that I made, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago now. I've had that around for a while. I don't use it too much in photography because it's kind of a specialized item. But I figured since the other Commander Rogers, and this one, other than the energy shield that he has behind him, the translucent energy shield, which is from the 2023 update to the Commander Rogers figure that Hasbro did. Other than that, this one is just the stock figure that came right out of the box. The weapons are what he came with originally, and what you're looking at there seem to be 1911 Desert Eagles, painted in silver. I don't think this is flat silver plastic. If it is, they need to go back to using this because it looks pretty shiny and it looks like silver. I think they're painted, although the paint has never come off when I've removed them from the hands, which is nice. But they appear to be 1911 Desert Eagles with maybe a laser sight or a flashlight attached at the bottom there, and that gives them kind of a sci-fi appearance between the sight being added and the silver color. It kind of makes them look like science fiction-y, futuristic, when in reality I'm pretty sure you know there are actual real items like that that you can kit out that way with the underslung sight. But anyway, I can't explain the affection that I have for these figures. I think it's down to the head sculpt, which to this day I think is one of the Marvel Legends' best head sculpts. It kind of, I think they were going for the artwork of Stuart Immonen, who was drawing Captain America. I believe it was Stuart Immonen at the time that he was in this Commander Rogers outfit. It might have been... oh, there's another name right on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of his name. There was a Commander Rogers miniseries that I think was drawn by someone else. It could have been that art style they were going for. But at any rate, this was when, at the time that he wore this outfit and had this sort of a slightly older look, which may have been part of the continuity. I think that he may have been aged a bit, like the super soldier serum was wearing off. Because clearly he looks like he's about 40 or 50 years old here. But at the time, he was wearing this outfit. I think he was running S.H.I.E.L.D. and had given up the role of Captain America, which at the time, I think Bucky was Captain America at that time in the Alex Ross designed costume, or it could even have been Sam Wilson, the Falcon. But I think this is when Bucky was still Captain America. I'll show you the 2020. I think it was 2022 or 2023. Much more blue, right? This is the update that Hasbro did for the Commander Rogers figure. You can see the shoulder harness and the belt are much the same. I have added a drop-down holster to his thigh. I think that's from Snake Eyes or Sergeant Stalker from G.I. Joe Classified. Just to, again, to zhuzh him up a little. And he's got the energy shield. This is actually the figure that this energy shield came with. The original two Commander Rogers in the back there, they came with an energy shield. That 2012 figure did come with an energy shield, at least one of them. I think one came with a regular shield, and the other one came with an energy shield. The black one, I think, came with the energy shield, and the dark blue one came with the regular shield, if I recall correctly, but it could be the other way around. But anyway, this more recent one, I know the proportions are better. This head sculpt is not the head sculpt that he came with. This is a very nice head sculpt. It's from the 20 Years Captain America, and it was sculpted by Paul Harding, who always gives us excellent Captain America head sculpts. But the Steve Rogers head sculpt that he gave us for this figure was not particularly good. In fact, here it is. I have it on my Beyonder at the moment. This was the head that came on the more recent Commander Rogers, and it just, you know, it's an okay head sculpt. I actually have it on quite a few figures because I bought a whole ton of these more recent Commander Rogers figures when they were on clearance at Ollie's. But that just that head sculpt on the guy in the white jumpsuit there, that's the Beyonder body from Secret Wars, that just does not say Steve Rogers to me. I don't know what there is about it. It says Jesse Plemons to me, maybe. That's kind of who it reminds me of, is Jesse Plemons more than anybody else, the actor. You know, when he's in, his weight seems to fluctuate with every part that he does, I think on purpose, but I feel like that might be Breaking Bad era Jesse Plemons, or maybe Fargo era Jesse Plemons. But anyway, yeah, that head sculpt for me does not work for Captain America or Commander Rogers or for anybody else. Hey, the barrels broke his fall. Yeah, I know you've been waiting a long time for somebody to fall over in this video, and I appreciate your patience. I'm glad it was finally rewarded. And here's the problem with these hips: is the slightest movement from the position I had them in, and these figures are going down. They're very, very weak. I actually use G.I. Joe Classified series stands like this for the two of them, which is nice because it has a star, so it's sort of Captain America-esque. Yeah, I have to put these guys on stands because they fall over all the time because of their pretty terrible hips, which are somewhat loose, in addition to being janky, ball-jointed hips that I really hate and despise. So anyway, there's my three Commander Rogers, the two on the left there from 2012, and the more recent one on the right from, I think it was 2023, when that, I think it was maybe the Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave, when that one came out. I do like the blue better on the newer one, but I didn't like that head sculpt, which is why, again, I put the Steve Rogers head from the 20 Years Captain America on him, and I think he looks damn good with that head. That definitely, I don't know why it is that they have never used that head since the 20 Years Captain America came out in 2022. That is a wonderful Steve Rogers unmasked head, and frankly, it should come with every single new Captain America release. It should have come with this one, and it should have come with the Gamerverse one, which I don't have handy here. But I mean, that is just, come on. That is Steve Rogers from the comics, especially if you've ever seen George Perez and his drawings in Avengers. of an unmasked Steve Rogers. That is pretty much the ideal representation of the way Perez drew Steve Rogers, and also, at least going back to the late 70s and early 80s, also the way he drew Hawkeye and Hank Pym. George Perez did not have a lot of range when he was first starting out in comics as far as drawing unmasked superheroes, but when he came back to Avengers in the late 90s with Kurt Busiek on that wonderful run that the two of them had together, Perez at that point had learned really a lot about drawing individual people and making them stand out, and at that point his Hawkeye and his Hank Pym and his Steve Rogers, all with the mask off, could all be made out as individuals, and you could tell who was who even if they were just wearing civilian clothes. And this Commander Rogers on the far right, that head sculpt is definitely the George Perez inspired look from sculptor Paul Harding, who always has a lot of respect for the history of these characters and the classic eras of them, and I really enjoy his sculpting in the figures that he has done, and I hope they keep using him, because he's a very, very good sculptor for Marvel Legends, and probably for other things too. And look at that angry Cap face right there. He's mad as hell, and he's not going to take it anymore. And of course he's mad because his shield is broken. I love that broken Secret Wars shield. This is the Secret Wars Captain America from 2025 or late 2024 that guy came out and that wave came out. That was the last one before, the new hotness of the Gamerverse Captain America that made everybody forget about that one. And also I think the 20 years one to a certain degree, although I still think, and then we'll wrap this up, I still think the 2020 Captain America, and again face sculpted by Paul Harding, and it's the same face, by the way, it's the same head sculpt they used for the Gamerverse Captain America. I think this is the best Marvel Legends Captain America, and I love the Gamerverse one. I love the sleek look of it. I like the fact that it doesn't have the scale mail. But for the accessories that this guy came with, for I think $25 at the time, for the accessories he came with and the quality and the care and attention that was put into this Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Captain America, this is my guy. I've got two of them, and I absolutely love them. And then while we're talking about Paul Harding, which I know I said I was done, he also sculpted the head sculpt for this Kazar, the Savage Land Kazar. And, if you look closely, you might be able to tell they don't look like the same person, but they definitely look like the same sculptor sculpted both of these characters, Kazar and Steve Rogers. Now, I got really far afield there with that digression. But anyway, that was my look at the 2012 Hasbro Marvel Legends Commander Rogers figure, telling you why I love it and why it's kind of still a problematic figure to have in my collection, because it's not a lot of fun to pose or play with or do much of anything with. But at the end of the day, I do really think if you get all these clearly superior action figures out of the way, they still look pretty damn good, don't you think? Thoughts? Leave a comment, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you're updated whenever I do anything new. Subscribe, I said that. What's the other thing? There is some other thing. Oh yeah, share. If you know anybody else who likes toys, or my particular brand of music for that matter, feel free to share what I'm doing here with your friends and let them know, hey, you might be interested in what this crazy songwriter / action figure collector is doing on his YouTube channel. If you want to see the photo shoot that I did with these two guys, I'll try to remember to leave it in the description on the video. I'll leave a link, but it's if you want to go to tumblr.com/avianandloaded, all one word, tumblr.com/avianandloaded, all my action figure photos go up there. And you'll be able to see some pictures that I took with these guys a little while ago, which made me think, hey, Spider-Man week is over. Maybe I should do, did I think to myself, a Captain America video, or did I think Captain America week? Well, tune in next time and find out. Thanks for stopping by for this action figure obsession, and I will see you on the next one.